Hey guys, welcome back to another Sunday Reset where I show you how I get ready for the week to come as a busy family of 5 planning, shopping and prepping our meals. This week is a little bit different as I filmed it in 2 parts to show you what I would do if I couldn't or didn't want to cook on the Sunday but still wanted to be prepared. The second part is showing you the week of cooking each night. No matter how I go about the prep side of things, if I cook on the Sunday, which is most of the time, or if I have to shift it to a Saturday or a Monday due to time commitments, I'll always still look at the week to come, plan out our meals and do some form of prep work. This week I will show you what a no-cook Sunday reset looks like and how I manage throughout the week. This was filmed throughout the school holidays where I also had annual leave, making it easier to cook and film. Here you can see that I shopped in person. If you're new to my channel, welcome. As a family of 5, I set aside $350 a week for groceries to cover all meals, household and cleaning, toiletries and nappies. Today I shopped at Coles and you'll see all the items that I purchased this week. This week on the meal plan we're having Moroccan chicken thighs with garlic mash and air-fried brocolini and asparagus, satay chicken with rice and roti, creamy pesto chicken and rice, slow-cooked beef stroganoff that will actually last us 2 nights, and chicken Parma with homemade wedges and salad. This week at Coles I spent $366.91 and I will have the budget breakdown on the screen here for you. I'm totally fine with going over budget this week as most weeks I'm under budget, so as long as I'm sticking to the budget as a whole over the month, I'm more than happy with that. As soon as I get home from the shops, I bring all the groceries in, unpack them and set them into their categories. I do that for the videos to show you what I've purchased, but you don't need to do that. I keep out what I need to use for prep and I put away everything else. So when it comes to fruit and veg, no matter when I cook my meals, which again is most of the time is always going to be on the Sunday, I'll wash my fruit and veg. I know some people prefer to wash their fruit and veg as they go and as they use it. I, however, wash it as soon as I come home and store it away, either whole or cut up, depending on what it is and what it's going to be used for. I wash my fruit and veg in the sink after I've given it a really thorough clean out. I fill with cool water and Koala Eco fruit and veg wash. I allow my fruit and veg to soak for about 10 minutes except for the berries. They only need 1 to 2 minutes. While the fruit and veg are soaking, I put away everything else I need to dispense for the pantry. Even though this week is a no-cook Sunday reset, I still managed to prep what I can to take away the time pressure each night. I started with the beef stroganoff. During the week I'll be making this meal and putting it on in the morning. I'm slicing 800 grams of chuck steak. Once cut up, I'll put it in a storage bag, push out the air to keep it fresh. The next meal I prepped is the satay chicken. This is one of our family favorites and all the ingredients I have listed on the screen. I mixed up the marinade and added the chicken thighs and then I prepped the satay sauce. This was the perfect way to do this as marinating the meat overnight develops a stronger flavour. For the satay sauce, I didn't bother stirring it as you'll see later when I cook it what I do. I wanted to, however, put all the ingredients in a container as I already had all the ingredients out from the marinade. Next, I prepped the Moroccan chicken. Like the satay chicken, marinating this overnight makes the flavour so much better, I promise. The marinade or the seasoning only takes 5 minutes. It's fresh, garlicky, zesty and delicious. We cook ours on the barbecue because we like to get a little bit of char on it. I didn't prep anything for the potatoes as I like to cook that fresh on the day. I moved on to prepping the chicken for the Parma and the Pesto chicken, which both of those meals will be for the end of the week. So I'm just cutting it the way that I want to use it and then I'll put it in storage bags and freeze it and then get it out the night before I'm going to use it. For the Parmas, I cut the chicken breast horizontally and for the Pesto chicken, I cut into strips. I also cubed some chicken breasts and marinated in Nando's marinade that I will cook the next day to use in rice paper rolls for my lunches. When it comes to prepping vegetables for the week, I generally have a plan of what I need to cut up as I often might use the same vegetable over multiple meals. So if I need to dice a capsicum for one meal and slice for another, I'll have that written down so I can get it done fast. As always, I'm using my IKEA 365 glass range with the plastic lid and the blue seal. These are my go-to containers that I use. I believe that they are the best ones that I've found to keep my food fresh the longest. We love having easy grab-and-go fruit and veg on hand. It makes cooking each night quicker, but it also makes packing lunches, making platter plates for the kids, and taking fruit to an outing so much easier. It's just the best opening up the fridge and knowing that everything is washed, prepped and ready to go. The only snack that I made on the Sunday was the protein panna cotta. This is so simple but so good. It's literally 2 ingredients, a sugar-free raspberry jelly and vanilla YoPro yogurt. I love these as a sweet treat at night. The kids also love them, so I made them some little mini ones too. As I was on leave this week and the kids were on school holidays, the other snacks that we made were chocolate chip cookies, brownies, and pancakes, but we made them throughout the week together. So that was pretty much all the prep work that I did on the Sunday, but another thing that I do to get organised for the week is sorting each meal's ingredients into containers. Again, this just makes it so much easier when it comes to cooking, as I just grab out what I need to use all ready to go. If you ever get a meal subscription such as like HelloFresh or Dinnerly or something like that, I also do the same thing. I place all the ingredients for each meal into individual containers. All the containers that you see me using here are all from Kmart. I love Kmart for all the storage containers. And here is the final result of a no-cook Sudnay Reset. As you can see, we still filled up the fridge and got everything ready. I'm excited to show you how I cooked each meal each night and how being organised like this helps you throughout the week. So the first night, the Monday night, we started with the Satay Chicken because obviously it's our favourite, or at least David's favourite, so I started with that one first. It was so easy just to grab out the meal from the fridge. This was the least prep for the whole week, I would say, because everything was already marinated. I just cooked the chicken thighs in a stainless steel pan, one that I could put in the oven. So I cooked it on each side until it was nice and charred, kind of on each side. I didn't have to cook all the way through because the rest of the cooking was done in the oven. And then see how I just tipped in the satay sauce straight into the pot. And then I heated that up and it melted everything, so the peanut butter and things like that, it all came together, and I let it simmer away till it bubbles and gets a bit thicker, and then I used that at the end. I also made some roti to go with it. This roti I get from Costco. It's kind of like frozen between little plastic sheets, and then I just heat them up on each side, and I'm just using it a little. That's actually a tortilla warmer that I'm using, and I'm using that for the roti that we'll have with it, and we serve it with rice and a little bit of coriander. So that's exactly how we had it. The kids, though, I added some yogurt and cucumber. My kids can handle a little bit of spice, but depending on the red curry paste that you use, will depend on the spice levels. So I just cut up their chicken, put it in their bowls with their rice, and added some cucumber and some Greek yogurt just to cool it down a little bit for them, and they loved it. When I do my Sunday resets, I often get asked what David takes for his lunches, as you normally see me prep for my lunches, but not for his. He generally will take the leftovers, so I'm just packing an extra container there for him to take to work, and that's what he normally has. So the meal for us normally lasts for the 5 of us. Obviously, I have 3 young kids, the dinners, and also his lunch for the next day. He just reheats his satay chicken in the microwave, and that's perfectly fine for him, and including the roti, they microwave pretty well. And there you go, there's our satay chicken all ready for the dinner. If you ask David, that is his favourite meal. Tuesday night we had the Moroccan chicken thighs. I was going to do this with salad, but I decided to do green veg instead. I also got David to cook the Moroccan chicken thighs on the barbecue. So as he was doing that, it gave me time to do the garlic and mashed potatoes and get the green veg ready for dinner. As I mentioned in the earlier prep video, I didn't actually do much prep work for this besides marinating chicken, so I did everything else on the day. For the mashed potatoes, I just used some red potatoes. I peeled them and boiled them, and then I'm actually going to use a potato ricer. Now, if you haven't tried a potato ricer, then if you have access to one or want to buy one, then I would highly recommend it, because not only can you use it for making gnocchi, it also makes the best mashed potatoes. It makes it so light, fluffy, and airy. Seriously, I can't do it any other way now. So once they were all boiled, I put it through the potato ricer, and then I added some milk, butter, some salt and pepper, and some Italian herbs, and also some minced garlic. For the greens, I decided to do them in the air fryer. So if you haven't tried doing this in the air fryer and you have one, then definitely try it. So I used a bunch of family brocolini and some asparagus, and then I just drizzled some olive oil, some minced garlic, salt and pepper into a bowl, and then I kind of coated that in them and then put them in the air fryer. And I put them in the air fryer for about 8 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. Now, for ours, I also added some chili flakes. So I cooked the kids' ones first, and then in a separate basket, because I've got a dual basket, I put some chili flakes on ours. And then at the very end, I also sprinkled a little bit of parmesan. So I think this is such a good way of cooking your green vegetables. And if you haven't tried them in the air fryer, like I said, then definitely give them a go, because they're delicious. I'm just using the potato ricer now to mash the potatoes. Like I said, this makes them so soft, airy, and absolutely delicious. I added 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, about 1 tablespoon of Italian herbs and spices, some butter, and then I just stir that around, and then I just add some milk. Stir it around until it's nice and creamy, and it's just so smooth and delicious. It's our favorite way to eat mashed potatoes. Once I'd finished on the mashed potatoes and the greens had finished in the air fryer, they brought in the cooked chicken thighs from the barbecue, and then it was time to plate up. So with my kids, what I like to do is I like to make a platter plate, it's called. I do a little bit of what I want them to eat, and then I also add a few things that they like. So I added a little bit of fruit on their plate, but they did know that they needed to at least try everything on the plate. This is a meal that they do like, and I'm pretty lucky that I don't have very fussy kids. Obviously, they are kids and they can be fussy, but on a whole, they are actually pretty good eaters. They do like my home cooked meals. So I'm just adding a couple of strawberries just to kind of keep it enticing for them to give it a go. But my daughter, especially my 6-year-old daughter, smashed this meal. She loved the chicken. She actually loved all of it, including the brocolini in the air fryer. You can also find all my recipes on my website, which is theorganisedeverydayMum.com.au. And in the description below, I'll also have the links to the different recipes as well, if you want to give them a go. On Wednesday, we had the slow-cooked beef stroganoff with dill and butter pasta. This one is a really good slow cooker meal if you want to buy a cheap cut of beef and make it into something magical. So what I'm using is 800 grams of the chuck beef that I sliced earlier on the Sunday. So I'm just putting them in a pan and searing those off. Doesn't have to be cooked fully through, but at least it needs to be browned and seared off on all sides. Then I'm going to place that into the slow cooker. Once I place the beef in the slow cooker, I'm then going to use the same hot pan with a little bit more oil. I'm going to add the 500 grams of sliced mushrooms. I'm going to add 2 brown onions thickly sliced. I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, 2 tablespoons of sweet smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. So I'm going to cook that for about 2 to 3 minutes until the onions are soft and all the spices are really fragrant. And then I'm going to add that to the slow cooker as well. And then to the slow cooker, I added 400 gram can of diced tomatoes and 1.5 cups of beef stock. I just gave it a stir and popped on the lid, and then I put that on low for 6 hours. Or you can also do it on high for 4 hours. At about 5.5 hours, I went back to check on it, and with the last half an hour, you're going to want to add the sour cream and Worcestershire sauce and a corn flour mix. So you're going to add 1 tablespoon of corn flour mixed with 1 tablespoon of cold water, and then add that to the slow cooker. That will help to thicken up the sauce. Add 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce and half a cup of sour cream, and give that a stir, and that will be the last half an hour. That also gives you half an hour to boil the water and cook the pasta, and then you can add some butter and dill to the pasta, and either serve by adding the noodles to the bowl and then add the beef stroganoff on top. I didn't make it for our dinner, but you can also serve this with a nice garlic bread or like a crusty bread heated up with some warm butter. I didn't feel like we needed it for that night, but if I do have it on hand, or like sometimes I'll cut a Turkish roll and add a little bit of butter, herbs, and some parmesan and put that in the oven to make it nice and crispy. I just made it nice and simple with the pasta and the beef stroganoff. And the kids also had like a little side fruit salad as well. This one here is a family staple of ours, and I often make this throughout winter and the colder months. You can also freeze the beef stroganoff meat and just make the pasta fresh on the day. The beef stroganoff lasted us both the Wednesday and the Thursday night. And then so on Friday, we were having the chicken parmas with homemade wedges and some salad. So here I'm just making the homemade wedges. I'm just simply keeping the skin on and cutting it into wedge-sized potatoes. I'm popping it on a lined baking tray, adding some olive oil and salt and pepper, and then also a teaspoon of paprika and 1 tablespoon of Italian herbs. So I'm just going to coat that all in that olive oil and herb mix, and then I'm going to bake it in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 1 hour, and I'm going to be turning it halfway to make sure that it's cooking evenly on both sides. If you like a little bit of spice and your kids can handle it, or you don't have kids to feed, then you can also sprinkle over some chili flakes or a little bit of chili powder or cayenne pepper. That also tastes really good. At the halfway mark, so about half an hour in, I just get it out of the oven and give them all a flip just to make sure that they're cooking evenly on both sides. And that also gives me time to make the parma and put them in the oven so that all of the cooking can be finished at the same time. My favorite way to make chicken parmas is by shallow frying it. So first I have to actually make the chicken schnitzels. As you saw on the Sunday, I cut them in half horizontally. That just thins them out and gets them at the same thickness as each other. And then into 3 bowls or containers or trays, whatever you want to do, I crack 2 eggs and lightly beat them in one bowl. In another bowl, I place flour and some lemon and pepper seasoning. And then into a third bowl or a tray, I add the breadcrumbs. So for that cook, I was using a little bit of panko breadcrumbs and also some herb and garlic breadcrumbs that I got from Coles. So I'm doing a bit of a mix there. So the first thing you do is dip the chicken into the flour to coat that in the flour. Then you add it to the egg mixture and coat in the egg mixture. And then the final thing is you do in the crumbs. And then, like I said, I'm going to shallow fry it. So in a deep frying pan, I'm just heating up some oil. So you can either use olive oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, or whatever you've got on hand to fry with. I shallow fry them where the oil will come kind of halfway up or a little bit higher than halfway up chicken parma. And I'm gonna cook it on each side for about 3 to 4 minutes and flipping halfway until they're golden brown. Again, it doesn't have to cook fully through because the rest of the cook will be done in the oven, but as long as most of the way is cooked through, that would be good. And then on a lined baking tray, I just add the chicken schnitzels. I add pasta sauce. You can kind of use anything like passata, pasta sauce, whatever. I do pasta sauce first, even though on Instagram I got a couple comments that it could be the other way around, but this is how I make it. So pasta sauce, then I put some ham on. For David, I put salami and then some freshly cut mozzarella cheese, and I put lots of that on to make it all delicious. And then to serve up this meal, I just added some of the potato wedges. I added the chicken parma and a side salad. With the wedges, I served it with some sour cream and some sauce for the kids, and then some sriracha for David and I, just again because we like quite a lot of spice with things. That's what we added. And then with the side salad, I just made it a really basic green salad. So I used some of the chopped up vegetables that I had, and I kind of customized it depending on what I knew my family likes and doesn't like. This was such a nice meal. The whole family loved it actually. This whole week, the family loved all the meals, so I picked good ones this week for them, but that is the final result of our chicken parmas, salad and homemade wedges. If you have leftovers for the wedges and the chicken parmas, then if you have an air fryer, it's really easy to reheat in the air fryer. That would be my choice over a microwave. David just placed the leftovers in the air fryer for about 5 minutes and that reheated it really nicely. The last meal for the week was on the Saturday. We had the creamy pesto chicken and rice. This one can also be served with pasta, whatever kind of pasta that you like. You can also probably serve this with tortellini. I haven't, but it would taste amazing with tortellini. And you can also serve it with gnocchi. So this is really versatile. The pesto chicken sauce as such you can serve with many different things, but we like it with steamed white rice. So for this recipe, you're going to add the 800 grams of sliced chicken breast to a bowl. You're going to add 2 tablespoons of Italian herbs, some salt, pepper, and give that a nice mix. Then in a large pan, you add some oil and heat that up, and then cook the chicken. Once the chicken is cooked, you remove that into a bowl, and then using the same pan, you're going to add 2 brown onions finely diced, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, 1 cup of sun-dried tomatoes that have been drained and chopped, 1 large capsicum sliced, and you're going to give that a bit of a stir. Then you're going to add 3/4 cup of basil pesto. You can either make this or buy store-bought, either way. 1 cup of chicken stock and 150 mils of cooking cream. Let that simmer away for a little bit. Let that simmer away, and then you're going to add the chicken back to the pan and add some grated parmesan. Parmesan will help to thicken up the sauce as well. And then give that a stir. And as I mentioned, we just serve ours over plain white steamed rice, or you can do pasta. And then we just added a little bit more parmesan. And for the kids, I made a little fruit salad. This one here was actually my daughter's, so my almost 6-year-old's favorite meal for the week. Surprisingly, I've made this many times, but this time she just took to it even better than other times. She loved it, and she's actually been asking for it ever since. So I'll probably be putting it back on my meal plan, because anything that I can get some flavor, taste, variety, and vegetables into them, I will do. As always, thank you so much for watching my Sunday resets. I hope you enjoyed this one that was a little bit different. Hope it gives you some inspiration if you don't have time or don't want to cook on the Sunday and have a little bit more time throughout the week. Then this is how I would organize my week to be prepared, but no cooking. Please let me know in the comments if you do like this type of different change, and if you like seeing the meals that I make throughout the week, or if you just want me to stick to just what I do on the Sunday.